So a life-saving decision has tied two families across state lines together forever. Tony Young lives in Colorado, but he says thanks to a woman in Longview, Texas, he's got a second chance at life. And he's sharing their story with us as we honor National Donate Life Month.
It started when I was 25 years old. I had my first heart attack.
Tony Young remembers the day. He says doctors found a 12-inch blood clot and signs of a heart attack. 5 years later, he says he had another.
My heart stopped 9 times that day.
Doctors didn't give up, and neither did Young.
A few years later, I got my first internal cardiac defibrillator because I had a problem where my heart liked to speed up really fast and then stop.
The heart issues got worse, and at 45, Young needed a new heart and a new kidney.
Because I required 2 organs, the heart and the kidney, they also wanted them to come both from the same individual because that would reduce the risk of my rejecting the organs. My donor's name was Cicely Istiksiwe. There's so much gratitude knowing that they made that most generous decision that if they were not going to be here anymore, that they would want to make sure that someone else would have a chance at life.
Young is determined to never forget.
She did not get to fulfill a long life, so it's kind of my duty to make sure that I can live as filling of a life with her along for the ride.
Along with carrying her picture, he also placed a recording of his donor's heart in a teddy bear and gave it to Cicely's family. Young also shared his gratitude with the team at Baylor Scott & White, who helped procure the organs because of Cicely's life-saving decision.
I'm alive and able to do many things, and it's because my recipient, my donor, said yes. She checked the box, and she also made sure that her family knew about the decision. I encourage anyone, consider it, register for it, make sure those loved around you know.
Man, seeing him give that bear really does something to you. Tony says both he and Cicely share an interest in heavy metal music, so he was able to take her picture along with him to a music festival, all in her honor. We also want to discuss what it means to be an organ donor and also a living donor. There is a difference. Tonight, we are blessed to have nephrologist with us, Dr. Hassan Ibrahim from Baylor Scott & White, which basically means he's a transplant specialist. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role and what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, and Tony was certainly one of the lucky people who had a chance to get a deceased organ. Unfortunately, in Texas, there's 10,000 people on the list, and the waiting time is currently anywhere from 5 to 7 years. Wow. So a kidney transplant recipient is certainly much better off getting a transplant. In fact, those who get a transplant live 3 times longer, not to mention the quality of life that comes with it. Yeah. But unfortunately, the wait time is so long, so getting a kidney from a live donor is certainly the most ideal way to do it, because you could time your surgery very quickly. You could get the surgery done before you get complications from the disease. And perhaps the most striking statistics about live kidney donation, which people do not appreciate, is that the odds of never ever having kidney failure in someone who donates a kidney is over 99%.
That's remarkable.
And we've done quite a bit of research where we asked thousands of donors about their donation experience. 99% said they would do it again.
Oh, I love that.
No regret. And I think that's thanks to the way the system is set up, where the donor has to undergo extensive testing to make sure they're healthy enough to donate. And also, we are very committed to following the donors as long as needed to make sure they continue in good health. But without a question, live donation will take care of the people on the list and avoid the burdensome nature of dialysis.
I actually know someone who was a living donor, gave their uncle a kidney. I know someone who was on, my grandmother and my uncle were both on dialysis and were not afforded that luxury. I think that most people know, okay, if I want to be an organ donor, if I passed on, I check it on my license. How do we become a living donor?
Yeah, certainly most programs have an online platform where people register to, it's basically a health survey, ask them questions about their health, and once they pass the screening criteria, they're contacted almost immediately by our center for certain, and we bring them in as soon as they're able to come in. And I think what's really important for people to know is that People have to share their story about the need for a kidney transplant. In fact, I think of it, if you need $50 and you don't tell anyone you need $50, nobody's going to hand it to you. People who share their story are 7 times more likely to find a live donor. How you share it is a matter of personal taste. People put it on a t-shirt, people put it on the back of their truck. And my advice to people who are unfortunate with kidney failure, when they speak to others about their need for a transplant, the first question they get asked, are we a match? Are we the right blood type? The answer should be it doesn't matter, because even if the person interested in donating to you is not a match, there's some other pair who have the same situation where you could actually exchange the kidneys and everybody benefits. And from a historic perspective, this was illegal to do in the U.S. till 2007.
Wow.
But since then, we've been able to do it, and 14,000 people have been able to receive a transplant through these exchange programs. So I ask people not to engage into, are we the right match, the blood type, because that closes doors for them. Just anybody who's interested, go on the website and they will be contacted immediately.
Yeah, you'll find a donor that can benefit. Okay, I want to ask you, from your vantage point, you are the transplant expert. What is it feeling that you get when you get to see these success stories like Tony's? You know, not from a living donor in this case, but he's still got a kidney and a new heart. How does that make you feel when you look back?
I'll tell you, the most remarkable thing is the day after surgery. With kidney failure, for example, people are extremely cold. They wake up after the transplant and the first thing they say, I feel warm. The second remarkable thing with kidney failure, for example, your appreciation for colors becomes somewhat blunted. They wake up and tell you that everything is vivid. The changes are so dramatic, or I have not slept this well in all the years I've been on dialysis, and their color comes back immediately.
Dialysis does take a lot out of you.
It takes a lot of you, and transplant is certainly just a miraculous way, and certainly live donation is the best way to go.
So for folks watching at home who say, I really want to get in and be a living donor, what is the website they go to register?
It's bswhealth.org living donor.
Awesome. All right, we'll also link that to our website. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
This conversation. Remember, you can watch this and all of our Eye on Health segments right now on our CBS News Texas YouTube page.